Hey guys, I'm Alpha. In the last video, we started on this chassis mounted splitter. However, unfortunately it's currently not very aerodynamic and slightly oversized. Plus, it needs a bit of reinforcement. So, let's get that sorted. You know, it's got play, nothing's holding it up. Our first job is literally just going to be to take the splitter off, because I don't really want to try and cut it on here. There's certain spots I wouldn't be able to cut. I'm going to take the splitter off, build sort of a bit of a rig to have it lifted up, and then we're going to get the jigsaw out and cut it. Got it down, wasn't that bad. I'm going to do some measurements so I know roughly where to place the bricks, and then we shall cut it. For one at 210. Now, of course, anyone with a brain would test cut this. However, I'm not someone with a brain. I think that's settled right. So, we're not going to test cut, we're just going straight in for it. I want to say I'm going to be better starting on this side. I made our first little cut. I'm actually going to get the circ saw. Maybe not. No, I don't think I'll have to. But we have then lost our support there, so let's bump you upwards. Put you there. I just smacked my finger a load. I had my finger in the wrong spot. Boom. We have our shape. Now, if you guys didn't know, we had the Instagram broadcast channel vote on the shape for this. We made some slight tweaks, but if you can see on the piece we've cut out, we did have a green, much bigger, very time attack style aerodynamic splitter. But instead, you guys voted that you wanted to keep a bit more of the Alpha shape, how it has like little spikes sticking out. So, well, don't get me wrong, it's not exactly as I drew it for the vote. It's definitely keeping that Alpha style, so hopefully you guys like it. So, next up, now we've got the outside shape, is we need to get the inside shape, which is going to take, well, I've already got lines there, so I want it as close back to the wheels as possible, basically. But without cutting it, you can't really get an idea. I know that's where the subframe is. What's that mark for there? Oh, that was for when I was drawing the wood. Okay. So when your wheels are on and I'm at full lock, you know, not really going to have a way to figure out whether it's in the right spot without putting it on, which is going to be a bit of a pain. So I think we're going to fit the wheels. Turn roughly. I do have a line here for where the subframe for it, so I know it'd clear there. It's just how far forward does it need to come. So let's get the wheels on and have a look, shall we? So full lock this way is going to be our issue. If I get under... See, we're actually still miles away from the subframe there. Is that right? I don't remember it being that far from the subframe. So by the looks of this, we can actually jump outwards from the subframe, which is good, because it provides better aerodynamics. Let's find my tape measure. Right, here we've got... Where's the rear mounting? The rear mounting's there, so it only goes out to about there, don't it, the splitter? We've got about... Looking, it's 4 inches. So I'm thinking if I do it at 2 inches... further out than it is, an inch back from there, and 3 inches at the front. Let's go do it. We can draw a line at an angle there to there. And then you want to do a curve, not a sharp edge, because that creates stress. If it allows for a crack or a fracture to happen. Now, am I convinced that's going to clear? I should do it. I'm sure I had 5 inches at the front. Yeah, I did. Okay. Same on the other side. Literally the exact same process. That looks so cool. That looks so cool. I'm very happy with the shape we've ended up going for. It keeps a bit of alpha, you know, and I think when it's on the car as well, because the bumper still is that shape, I think it'll look really cool. Right, I'm now going to be, we've flipped the splitter over, and I'm going to be sanding this back edge. So it's round, because it acts as an aerofoil. More aerodynamics basically, and I'm going to do this quick because you can see it's starting to rain. So there we have it, nice rounded edge on this back side. I've already sanded the other side literally just to get rid of any sharp edges, and then actually I'm going to do it here as well. So this isn't so much to create an aerofoil, it's just to get rid of any splinters and sharp bits and bobs. Right, let's get some bricks. Let's lift it up, put it on 2 or 3, 4 bricks, and then we're going to just literally blast it all with a sander real quick, and then paint it. Right, we're going to get 2 coats of this on. We've got to leave 4 hours between painting over. I just tried to open it with a paintbrush. Doesn't look very black, looks fucking blue. Does say black, doesn't it? Yeah, satin black. Right, give it a good stir, which we're going to do with the handle of our brush. That's not black. It's not black in the slightest. So, the splitter is officially black, or at least the underside is. The a few runs there that I need to sand off. The proper side isn't, but that's because this side's going to get carbon skinned. Realistically, I'm not as worried about the waterproofing on this side, plus obviously the bottom side's going to see more water than the top. If anything, being Alfa Romeo, this side will see more oil than it will water. But hopefully the carbon skin will do all the water sealing, weatherproofing that we need. Now we're going to move on to the front mounts, which are a slight different premise to what we did in the last video, where we've got them ones which are onto the slam panel, the ones behind it, the crash supports, and the ones at the very back are directly drilled into the subframe. It's not going to be quite as aggressive as that. The front ones are going to be a bit different. I'm going to get this laid down, get this foam pad off, the polystyrene pad off the crash bar. I'll give you guys a better idea of what we're doing. Some metal rope, some eye hooks, so that with any luck, if these are long enough, we'll go all the way through. Which by the looks of it, they actually are. That's perfect. I'm really happy about that. My other option was I was going to have to just self-tap it with a washer into the crash bar, which obviously isn't as good. Whereas with this, we're going to get away with it, I think, unless we have... We might have what... We don't have enough. For God's sake, we don't have enough. That's so annoying. Yeah, so these are going to go through. Obviously going to have to do a little run to Halfords and buy another. We'll go through there, bolt on, probably chuck a bit of welding as well, depending if that's steel or alloy, probably alloy. And we're going to hook the wire over here. I'm going to have to put a little slit so it can hook over, and then there's also going to be these coming through the splitter. Attach it round, get a load of tension behind it, and get it all nice and secure, because then it means if I'm to hit something on the front of the splitter, which is obviously where it's going to hit first, instead of it just snapping against everything like it would do on the other mounts, it'll just take up the slack. These ropes will just go slack as it goes upwards. So we've hopefully done quite a smart thing here, and it should help the splitter last a bit longer with any luck. The first job to do this is to actually get the splitter back on so I can line it up properly. And then we're going to mount the bumper on. There should be a bit of a gap between the splitter and the bumper, which that's what we're going to take up with the tension in the ropes. So, put the jack under here. Get that nut on, that'll help hold it. Yeah, okay. That likes to hold it for us. Nice. Nice. That weren't anywhere near as bad as I thought. As you can see, splitter is now fully on. So we can plop the bumper on there. Plop the bumper on there. Sort out our rough mounting point for it. There we go. Get you in. Get you in. So that's about where the bumper sits, not this side in. This side's always fun because the headlight likes to drop. That side in, fully. This side, we're still having issues getting this side in completely, but we can get it 90% of the way there. I don't think it's going to make any height difference at the bottom. That looks insane. That looks so cool. It looks very even as well, which I'm happy about. So, the plan now, using them metal ropes we've got, is to lift. I want it to hold tension. Now, obviously, looking at this, we're going to have to cut a bit of this bumper a bit more. Yeah, because it doesn't... I mean, it's not far off by any means. And we will be putting in a proper... I know this is sort of an air dam, but we'll be putting another piece on the splitter that'll close any gap between the bumper and the splitter. So yeah, maybe we won't even have to. Depends how high we pull each side up. We want the sides level, if you get me. I'm almost tempted. Yeah, I might actually bring the car down onto the floor so we can properly look at getting it level, because I know that the ground here is quite level. So I can put it on the floor, make sure, you know, this right nub is the same height as the left nub before we get everything permanent. But already that looks so sick. And the rods that we're doing, the ropes, are going to be behind the bumper. So it is, I know it'd look cool possibly for it to be out front, but it's not functional attaching it to the bumper. And I couldn't work out a way for it to look nice going through the grille or anything. But we'll get it figured out. Yeah, boy. Line these up perfectly. Hopefully with pilot bits we'll actually get through this quite easily. This, obviously these outer bits at the back must be a lot thinner. Last but not least, yeah, no, so I am going the right way now. Yeah, nice and tight. So, this is basically why we use the blue pen as well, because the blue pen has a bit of a shine to it, like a purpley shine, so with a flashlight here, you can see where I've marked. I've marked there, so can I get to that one with that? Probably not, that's a bit of a stretch I reckon. But where can I get to it? I can probably go about halfway, which you're there, so if I went there, I reckon that would be a safe bet for being out of the way of the bumper, which is, right, that's that, that's that, that's that. Doing my mythical measurements, line you up with you, you are 9 inches in, we shall mark you there. How confident am I on that? Do I just drill it? Yeah, let's just drill it. I've lost it now. There it is. The middle ones should be fairly easy. Wings are on. We're going from here now. Time to get the bumper on. So, we are fully aired out. So luckily it makes things hopefully pretty easy for getting the bumper on anyway. There we go, that side's in. Still having some issues with fitment on this side, but it shouldn't affect what we're about to do. Now, first good sign is that there's no obvious of them eye hooks showing from behind the bumper, which is perfect, exactly what we want. I think we're going to start on, no, I think we should start on one side and pull it along, so as we go across and we can make sure there's the same, well, I wonder a bit if I did the outsides first. No, I think I should do the middles first actually. Yeah, we'll do the middles first and work outwards. So let's get our wire, wherever I've put that. I mean, from there to there, which is roughly where it is, if we double that, which we nearly have done, so we want to be a bit more than double actually, just to make sure we've got length. So I reckon if we do about 4 pulls of this, so I've done 4 loops, that should now quite easily go there to there, back to there, and have plenty spare length on. I'm going to go to about here and cut it. Now we can see what we're doing with the wire. There are clamps you can get that clamp it, but I couldn't find any. So, what I was going to attempt was to just get these nice and tight, bring the welder over. I mean, I could wrap you around like that. That might be beneficial. No, not really. But yeah, I want to do that. Hold it tight, get the welder, and just tack them together, and that'll stop it from releasing. So let's get the welder set up and bring it over here. Right, I am pretty confident that is pretty solid. No welding gloves is not a good idea. I just can't, I couldn't hold it properly without a glove. Whoo! Look at that, straight on my skin. It's actually charred my skin. How? I will make do with this glove on. How that well hurt. That's two with solid tension. Right, so let's do that side first. Well, looking at this, I'm thinking the only difference is going to be it's on a lot more of an angle. Other than that, it should be exactly the same, I think. Yeah, looks to be. Thereabouts. There's a couple bits frayed there which I don't like. However, I don't think there's too much I can do on that part, you know. Well, I do know. I could have been a better welder, but I'm not, so it'll do. Gonna go do the other side now, and then honestly our next move is to stress test it and stand on it and see. Actually, I'm also curious, if I have my earth on there, can I weld on this one? I can. That's nice. So everything's all cohesive. I have not even had a chance to tidy up yet. Everything's still everywhere, but there's nothing under the splitter. The splitter is, you know, it's got play, nothing's holding it up. I'm stood on the splitter, can bounce on it a bit. There's nothing underneath it. You know, I can reach down underneath it. I'm fully on the splitter, bouncing on the splitter. It's holding my weight. I'm very happy with that. We've not even carbon skinned it yet, or put a metal sheet underneath it, which will help as well. So next job, let's cut these, the top bits of this, so I can actually take the splitter off. And then we're going to move on to carbon skinning it. We're going to get the first layer of carbon on in this video, which means, you know, prep work, laying the first bit of resin, and then it's pulling the carbon weave out and laying it on. If it even fits, this splitter might be too big. Right, let's grind these off. That one's in a right awkward position, I'm not doing that. Let's move the headlight. There we go, that's better. You know, the hole doesn't need to be particularly big, just enough to get the splitter out of. But it puts the slack in, and it means that hopefully, there you go, I can unhook that one, and that's how we take the splitter off and on. Smart! I feel like I know what I'm talking about. Right, we're set up and ready to carbon skin, almost. We need to remove these brackets that we've put on, which, if I remember correctly, are this spanner. Yep. And, oh, my sockets are underneath it. What are the chances that I can just release it and it'll work? Oh, we might actually be super lucky. It might just work. We're also going to be making some bigger washers because obviously they're not really an ideal. We want some big, massive washers that are really going to hold it for us. So, let's get our resin. No. First, scuff the surface. So, we've got a 40 grit here. Literally just... If we aim for like maybe 250, we might get 250 out of it. That goes to 371. Not even close to enough. Right, cracking open a fresh one. So we want to go 352. We've gone up to 356 there, a bit much. So the resin, the hardener is a bit harder to pour because it is a lot quicker. We'll try and chuck a bit more resin in there. We'll go to 360. Not too worried about a mix like that because this is such a big batch. You know, with the small batches I do try and be really accurate, but this batch is massive. And again, it's a base coat, so a little extra hardener is not too much of a worry. We're ready. We're at the correct tackiness stage where it's tacky but it's not coming off. I've applied a bit more resin around these corners because it didn't go quite how I wanted. Now I'm nervous for this pull. Not only is this by far the biggest piece of carbon skinned, I don't think it's even going to reach necessarily the back. But I also don't have help. I'm pulling this on my own. It's not rolling properly. The stands are too close together. No way, it actually covers the whole thing. How am I going to get back around? We have actually covered the whole thing there. Only just. Right, where's my scissors? Although I've just used so much carbon, oh my god, I'm going to have to buy more carbon. I've used my whole roll. I mean, I went pretty overboard with this. Oh shit. This carbon was supposed to, don't get me wrong, I've done some customer pieces, but this carbon was supposed to do my entire front end. I ordered £700 worth of carbon, and I've actually just finished the roll. That corner doesn't really matter. I'm going to go under the piece, spray some contact adhesive. This is going to go great, it's going to go all over my car probably. And hopefully I can use that to stick it down under here. I've not cut a relief cut there. Yeah, all over the car. Sick. Like here especially, oh no. But now it's a waiting game. We're going to have to leave that to wait for another 10 hours, 20 hours. It's not sitting on the back here, bottom here. Again, really doesn't matter at the back. But yeah, that looks so sick. That's wild. Catch you guys tomorrow. Right guys, here it is. Here is our splitter with its first layer of carbon on. It's incredibly dusty right now, so it probably looks more grey than carbon. Plus, I was being a bit naughty and I used it as a workbench, if I'm completely honest, for a little bit. So it's got some primer in some places, which I'm going to hope I can sand out. Otherwise, I'm not going to be very happy. But yeah, other than that, this is how she's looking now. Need to do a couple more layers of resin. Unfortunately, I ran out of resin. This takes honestly like a litre of resin per layer, and we need to do 3 or 4. But it's definitely helped with the structural integrity massively. This is quite sturdy now. I'm very happy with this. So if you have enjoyed, make sure you like, comment and subscribe. Share this video to your mates. We are going to get this finished off in the next one, where we'll do all the resin. We've got some material to create an air dam so it fits properly onto the bumper, and then we're going to fit it all on and bring it out the garage, make sure it doesn't just destroy itself in the first 5 seconds. So yeah, cheers for watching. See you guys in the next one.